So a very good evening to one and all. This video is for class 8, reproduction in animals. As we all know, we are going through the topic reproduction in animals. Now, in the last class, we learned about the fertilization, we learned about male reproductive system, female reproductive system, everything. Now, today's class is on post fertilization events. What happens after fertilization? So, the moment the ovum will get fertilized by the sperm, the zygote which was formed in the fallopian tube itself, not exactly the zygote, we can say it's a mass of a cell, like a ball, no, like just like a ball, means like a small or a very small ball, like a table tennis ball, it will form. And that ball, that mass of a cell will slowly move from the fallopian tube, it will dig a bit, it will implant itself over here, especially on the wall of the uterus, either towards the right side or towards the left side. Any side it can, but it needs the wall for the support. If there is no wall, then no support. Now what happens here? The moment the zygote implanted, after the fertilization, formation of the zygote. After the zygote is formed, embryo will form. So there is a simple flow chart we can make, like first zygote, then it will form the embryo, then the embryo will change into fetus, and after 9 months the baby will be delivered. So this is a normal general flow chart. Zygote to embryo, embryo to fetus, fetus to a baby. Now what happens here? The moment the zygote is fixed, the placenta will connect the zygote to the female part, means to the female reproductive part, that is the uterus. First, we will talk about the placenta. The placenta is a connective medium between the zygote and the uterus, but not directly. I repeat, not directly. A small part is here. This part, a small part is here. That is the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord is also present here. I shall just mark it to you. So this is the umbilical cord. This one is the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. So this umbilical cord, we cannot say that the zygote is directly, in touch with the uterus. The zygote is connected to the placenta, and the placenta is connected to the umbilical cord. So umbilical cord is a medium between the zygote and the placenta. Why? Because the blood pressure, the pressure of the blood in the mother's uterus is high, as well as in the placenta also it is very high. So what happens? The baby or the zygote developing inside the mother's womb will not adjust or accommodate that much pressure, and the zygote may die. So that's the reason why the zygote is connected to the umbilical cord, and umbilical cord is connected to the placenta. So umbilical cord is a medium between the zygote and the placenta. Now, this one is the cervix. Here what happens? Once the baby is matured after 9 months, there will be severe contraction and relaxation in the uterus, that we called as labor pain. Labor pain means the expecting mother is about to deliver the baby. Now, once the pain starts after the 9 months, means the mother will be delivering the baby. Finally, this uterus is the main organ where the zygote stays. Amniotic cavity, a very important one. This is the amniotic cavity, and this is the amnion membrane. Outer is the membrane, inner is the cavity. Inside the amniotic cavity, we can find amniotic fluid. That amniotic fluid is very essential. Why? Because that amniotic fluid will allow the baby to grow properly without any shock. Yes, without any shock. There will be no shock, means it's a shock absorbing measurement. That amniotic fluid present in the amnion membrane or inside the amnion membrane, that is in the amniotic cavity, is actually a shock absorber thing. So if by mistake or by accidentally the mother gets a shock, that time the expecting mother gets a shock, that time the amniotic fluid present in the amniotic cavity will protect the baby from the shock. and this amniotic fluid having the same chromosome, as that of the baby. Means the chromosome present in the amniotic fluid is the same as that it is present in the baby or in the zygote. Now, till the baby is in the uterus, till the zygote is in the uterus, it will complete only these three stages: zygote, embryo, and fetus. Fetus means at the end of the 9 month, the whole developed human baby is called as fetus. Now what happens? This fetus will be changing into a baby when the mother will be delivering the baby. Means in the uterus only these three stages will pass: zygote, embryo, and fetus. And once the mother is delivering, then there will be no more zygote, embryo, fetus. It's a human baby. Now, we will talk about gestation also. What is gestation? Gestation means the time period between the fertilization took place and the birth. Means that is the 9 month. The time period during which the mother carries its baby inside her womb. That is gestation period. Means once the fertilization took place, from fertilization till the mother carries the baby in her womb, that is the 9 months. Means 280 days. 280 days. So these 9 months are very much crucial for a pregnant lady, for an expecting mother. It is a very crucial period. Why it is crucial? Because that time anything can happen to the baby inside the womb. And if the damage is really very much negative or really very much harshful, then that time it is possible that the baby inside the mother's womb may die, as well as the mother also will die, if the damage is very much means harmful, if the damage is very much strong that time, if the accident which is taking place is a very dreadful one, that time it may possible. Now, so gestation, I hope you can understand the time period between the fertilization until the birth of the baby. That is the 280 days time. Means that is the pregnancy time, gestation period. That is the 280 days time. Now, apart from this, today we will also talk about what happens when after the delivery, means post delivery situations. So first of all, we will be talking about infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. 4 things are there. We need to know it. Infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. 4 phases after the delivery. Between 0 to 2 years, when the baby grows rapidly, when he or she tries to stand, he or she tries to walk. That is the time period between 0 to 2 years. Now, that is the infancy. Then comes the childhood. From 3 year onwards, or from the end of the 2nd year till 12 years, that is childhood. That time the child will learn moral values, education. The child will learn what is education, moral values, playing, running, jumping, moving here and there. That is the growth period of physical as well as mental growth. Next one is the adolescence, the very crucial period. That is from 12 years to 18 years of age. Very crucial period. That time, this 12 years to 18 years of age, that is the adolescence. And sometimes the adolescence may go to 20 years also. Means from 12 to 20, means either 6 years or 8 years of adolescence it may, which we also called as teenage. There was, at that period of time, there are lots of physically and internal changes in the body of the particular human being. Now we cannot call that now we cannot call a particular organism, human baby, as a child, or a human baby or child we cannot call. That time simply we will call a human being organism as a teenage. Means that particular organism has crossed infancy also, childhood also. Now it is there in the teenage. That is the adolescence. During this time, the body as well as the health condition of the organism of the human being is at its peak, at the youth time, and it will be continued till 30 years. And after 30 years of age, the person will come down. Means the energy level will become down, the organ will start to become very much inferior. That time we need to change our diet from one particular thing to the other, so that we can have a proper proper growth in the body. Now, so what happens in childhood? We understood that 0 to 2 years. means means infancy, not childhood. Infancy from 0 to 2 years. Childhood prolonged from 2 to 12 years. Then comes the adolescence. Adolescence carried from, that is 12 to 18 or 20 years. That is the very crucial age. There the young age people or the teenage peoples are very much fickle by their brain, means they are very much fashion deviated. They are deviated towards anything very easily. That time the proper control by the parents over their children is necessary, means not like a dominating control. It must be a very friendly control. The parents must make a very friendly environment at their home so that the child could feel comfortable. Now once this 20 years of age crossed, the child will be out of this teenage phase, and the child will adolescence or teenage phase, and now the child will enter to the adulthood phase. In adulthood phase, what happens? The child is very much looking towards his or her future at that time. The child is looking at his or her future, as well as they are trying to make their own destiny by themselves, full of confidence, full of hard-working nature, and this will go till the age of 30 years. And once the future is set, then automatically that child which was once in the mother's womb has now become so much successful that whole world is seeing. But at the same time, the three stages, if the first three stages, that is the infancy 0 to 2 years, childhood, that is 2 to 12 years, and the adolescence, if these three phases, that is 12 to 20 or 18 years, 18 to 20 years, from 12 years to 18 to 20 years, if these three phases is very good for a particular child, then the adulthood will be really good. Why? Because these three things are the base. And what we want in this three phase: proper guidance, proper food, proper health facility, proper security, proper safety, as well as proper mental freedom. Means that the child should not be under any pressure by anyone. And if at all it is happening, then the child cannot grow properly. And at that time, at the old age, the child may become very much psychologically weak. That's the reason why these three phases are very necessary, so as to make the last phase, adulthood, a very important one and a very successful one. I hope you can understand through this video. If any doubts, you can ask. Thanks a lot.